Maybe it's a little early to go there, but this will go down in history as one of the greatest military victories, taking out the #1 state sponsor of terror. They have been responsible for hundreds of thousands of missiles between themselves and their proxies being fired into Israel. They have threatened to wipe Israel and the U.S. off the map, and that threat has been removed tonight.
That was Fox's Sean Hannity on Saturday night congratulating Donald Trump for doing exactly what Hannity and most of the other anchors on Fox wanted him to do, bomb Iran. In fact, Fox may have helped convince Trump to attack. According to the New York Times, Trump ultimately decided to strike Iran for a couple reasons, but here's a big one. Quote, the president was closely monitoring Fox News, which was airing wall-to-wall praise of Israel's military operation and featuring guests urging Mr. Trump to get more involved. Lane Cooper is a Pentagon correspondent at the New York Times. She's one of 5 reporters on that story about Trump's evolution on striking Iran, and she joins me now. Lane, it's great to have you. I was struck by 2 things. One, the first statement from any U.S. official after the Israeli strike started from Marco Rubio, State Department, was very distancing, extremely distancing. And then the real change, first in the tone and then in the actions. Give us what your reporting says about that trajectory.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. We all know, and you know very well, that Donald Trump has prided himself on being a non-interventionist. He pledged during his campaign that he was not going to get the United States involved in any more forever wars. He thought they were stupid. He's long been one of those people who did not want, he's very much of the America First category. And that was what we saw in the first day of the Israeli campaign. As you mentioned, the Marco Rubio statement and the administration and the Trump White House made clear that the United States had nothing to do with it and was not taking part in the offensive operations. But then there started to be a shift, and that shift happened pretty early on. One official told me that it started as early as the next morning when President Trump woke up and watched Fox News and started to see how well Israel was being presented as doing. Israel was hitting all of these Iranian strikes, Iranian sites. It was taking out military commanders, nuclear scientists, and that was being presented on Fox as this huge victory. And Israel was, doing. And then there was that quote from the German chancellor who said that Israel was doing everybody's dirty work for them. But this coverage, and Trump started to see this as Israel looking strong and it going really well, and he decided that he wanted a piece of it. He wanted to take part, and that's where we saw that shift started, where Donald Trump started to take credit for stuff that the United States had not been taking part in. He said that the U.S. we had complete air control. We had to establish air superiority over Iran. That's not us, it's Israel, unless you think the United States is Israel. And he started making threats about Iran. He came back early from that G7 meeting and called his advisors to his national security advisors to meet with him. And by then he had pretty much decided that he wanted to get his piece, get in on the action. And he decided that he wanted, he liked the idea of this bunker buster bomb, the GBU-57, which is a massive ordnance penetrator, is the formal name for it, that hasn't been used in combat before. But if you recall, in Afghanistan, I think it was 2017 or 2018, when Trump ordered that the military drop the Moab, which is that really big bomb, out, and that basically bombed a whole bunch of tunnels and hills, but it didn't kill a lot of insurgents. He likes that. He likes the big show, the big idea of it. And he liked the idea that this was something that only the United States had, according to our officials, that he ordered up the strikes. But the interesting part about it is he telegraphed so much of this on media. With
can I read? I just want to read this portion. Even as military planning was being conducted in secrecy, each of Mr. Trump's social media posts seemed to be telling the world what was coming. The president said one military official was the biggest threat to OPSEC. To build confusion to the attack plan, military officials decided to have two groups of B-2 bombers leave Missouri around the same time.
Yeah. So the Pentagon, one military official was who said to me he was very, very frustrated. And this was before I knew that there were going to be attacks. But I remember on the phone with him, and he's like, the president is the biggest threat to OPSEC that we have. Every time, even if we were going to do something, he's putting it all out there. That's not what you do when you're about to, order up a strike. A lot of this was playing out as we saw on social media, and one minute, and then Trump got, 1 minute Trump would say Tehran should evacuate. The next minute he would say nobody knows what he's going to do. He seemed to be all over the place, but he was definitely forecasting very much what the U.S. was about to do. So the Pentagon had to misdirect. They had to end up coming up with that statement in which Caroline Leavitt said he's going to decide in 2 weeks. And they had to send B-2 bombers towards Guam to sort of call attention away from the main strike package that was headed east.
Helene Cooper at the New York Times. Thank you so much for sharing your reporting. Appreciate it.